老师们好, hello teachers. So today we are talking about developing routines in the classroom. Now in Chinese we always say 入室即静,入座即学, which means as soon as you're entering the classroom, you are in the silence mode, and as soon as you're taking your seat, you start to work. So a silent entry to the classroom with a task on table is essential for developing a calm learning environment. Now for this session, we're focusing on the first class of the term. Maybe this is a class you've taught before, perhaps this class is a class you have never taught before. At this moment, if we are visualizing ourselves as a student, we are excited to see the new classmate, we are excited to find out who the new teacher is, and actually there are some nice scholars in the classroom who would like to find out what's the plan for this year. Kids, as teenagers, they are curious, which is good. And sometimes as an adult, I'm very jealous and envious of their energy and the drive to participate into our learning. So please acknowledge the students. They are energetic, they are curious, they might have a lot of questions, they might not be able to say as calm as comparing to an adult when they are entering a new classroom with a whole new environment. So one thing I have done pretty well, it's proven working extremely well, is that every first lesson in a new academic year, I provide the students a letter. Just take a quick glance at my exemplar letter that I've written to my previous year at MEP scholars. It's obvious that in the first paragraph I introduce myself and I set up my expectation. Now, my theme, the key word in this letter is to challenge you. We're a very academic class, we're a very academic group, and I want to challenge you. How I'm going to challenge you with 5 different topics. And that's buried a seed of the students going to ask, oh, what 5 topics we're going to learn? And what are the skills? What's the end point? Because, guys, year 8, you're going to have a national hurdle test on the skills. So the challenge is here. We're learning 5 topics and we need to pass the national hurdle test in the end. In the next paragraph, I tell them how to be successful. I said, homework, independent learning plays one of the most essential role. You master the foundational knowledge so I can focus on the misconceptions, stretching your learning with some beyond knowledge. Sometimes for culture or A-level GCSE, that might be a typo here, and bring the culture element in our MEP classes. Now, the way I teach is that whatever students can learn, they need to build up that foundation knowledge at home prior to coming to the classroom. In the classroom, we're providing the students lots of opportunity to practice, which they don't have at home. And also, as a teacher, I'm being paid to deliver the class very, very effectively, especially when I don't have those many hours. So I only teach the misconceptions, which means the difficult bit. So that, in my way of teaching, independent learning or the homework is quite important. So I set up my independent learning expectations straight away. In my school, we do the blocks. Last week, I've shared you with blocks of knowledge. The students learn them, practice them, copy them out, whatever way that they think is most effective for them. And they're going to quiz themselves to 80%. What I don't allow the students is that they're going to copy the things, faking it, or they're going to providing that having 5 items to learn. They one item a time test it, another item a test it. By the end, they're reaching the 5th item. They've forgotten the first 1 to 4 items. I asked them to learn all of the items and test themselves. Okay, so I told them it's hard work. This is what they need to prepare to do, and then I move on how they find these hard work purposeful. I provide them with the incentives. I said modern foreign language will help you to get in grammar school, higher education, a potential job that earns 20% more, etc. And on daily basis, if I told them that in the local area, if they are good and they want to continue to study to a grammar school, and majority of the grammar school do offer Mandarin at a more higher level for them, and that's to their advantage. And every now and then in the classroom, we'll always put them on Google Job, Indeed Job, etc., and showing them what are the Mandarin jobs that are available at the moment and see if they're happy with the salaries, for example. Secondly, some more immediate rewards. Like they know that we have the launching event with Year 7 with the food and performances. And then obviously, at number 3, I provide them the cultural element, visiting the British Museum, and we have the treasure hunt in Chinatown, etc. And monetary rewards if your school are able to afford it. And I think that's one of the most effective way of spending MEP money is that using that money as a scholarship, as a mini scholarship. I'm not saying that money is everything. I'm not teaching the idea to students that they have to learn to get money. But kids, they want to have a little piggy bank so that they can, because their own efforts, because their own academic progress, they can purchase something that they want to. And a lot of students are actually using this voucher to buy items for their parents, for the brother and sister. So one student actually made a personalized mug for me. It's definitely, sometimes we just have to give credits for the kids that actually £10 a voucher for 100% in the hurdle test is actually a good way of using that budget. I really think a good teacher or a very well established department can provide the students some essential tools that they can progress on their own. So they don't need, a lot of the time they don't need the teachers to be with them, and that they can actually provide their own pathways. So in our department, we have the golden nuggets and core knowledge, which I've shared with the forum. We also have the quadrical sheet, and I think I've shared it with the forum as well, and we also shared the lesson checkpoints, which is a part of assessment. So I said to them that these 3 are the most important resource this year for them to pre-learn, to practice, and to stretch their learning. Now, for adult learners and the kids, similarly, they need to know what's happening. So in our school, we divide the school year into 3 modules. That's depending on how you divide your school in termly basis. I said, okay, in term 1, module 1, we're doing these topics, and these are the subtopics we're doing. So these subtopics are actually based on the name of my blocks. Module 2, etc. Module 3, etc. And I tell them, okay, now we are building these knowledge up for national hurdle test, and after the national hurdle test, we still have time to continue for a mini module 4 so that we can catch up with the curriculum. In the end, I summarize the paragraph that to motivate the teams, like this is a group huddle, this is a group shout out. We are Team MEP. We're 31 really hardworking, resilient, and committed scholars who are going to strive for excellence. And you know, surprisingly, you will get the majority of the people on board, and you're going to set that high expectation of your culture for this classroom, and you actually have the majority of class on board. People, I'm not saying this is a philosophical thing, but what I found as students is that if you give them the tools, if they think they can be successful, and actually, no matter how naughty they are, they want to work with you and they really want to achieve something with you. And I said that the joy coming from the achievement that they have evidenced last year, and they already have a strong foundation. I want them to keep up the pace and momentum so they can get another set of excellent results, not for me, but for themselves. Yeah, so that's how I structure a letter for the students, and I might come up with some follow-up questions. You can use AI to create those questions if you want to, but just keep them purposeful. Lesson one coming in, sitting down, to battle with their curiosity, to battle with their excitement, answering most of the questions, setting up the expectation, and giving them a motivative speech and a plan for this year. And then, when the majority of the students are settled down, you can do whole class activities. So that's my top tip number one for class routine. First term, first class. I hope you enjoy this and hope you can try this out. Thank you.